Hi, my name is Araya,
My name is Jerry.
I'm Logan.
and we are from Redbird Christian School, and we develop cracking. We have identified drug addiction as a huge problem in Eastern Kentucky. Our business is to develop a video game to help prevent addiction before it starts, hoping to stop it from spreading to future generations. Currently, the only option to battle addiction is recovery. In our experience, not everyone has the discipline and willpower to follow a recovery plan, so we want to provide an option to avoid rather than deal with addiction. I have witnessed this firsthand. My dad has been a recovering addict for 11 years, and my mom has been an addict for more than 18 years, and to my knowledge is still an addict. Our company mission is to provide an option other than recovery to save future generations from starting addiction.
I have actually lost a lot of people from drug abuse and drug addiction. And I have experience in developing and creating a game and character models. So we decided that we would create a game, seeing how we know how to try and prevent drug addiction and drug abuse from happening. Our game is called Cracking. Cracking is a game based on the character's decisions, where you can make from 3 to 4 decisions, and depending on what you choose will change the outcome of the game. You can actually see how it affects the character in real time with like a health bar or happiness bar. We have actually seen how bad and how negatively drugs can impact people, so we want to start preventing them before it keeps starting.
We believe our target market is high school administrators and principals. While we anticipate that our end user will be high school students, we believe that it will most commonly be used as part of their current curriculum. Our current plan is that school administrators will purchase a single semester license for each student that plays our game. Our first sales will start in this region and ultimately expand onto all of Kentucky and beyond. We have sent out viability surveys to administrators to test if this believed target market has interest in our product.
We conducted a viability study to learn if there was indeed demand among high school administrators. For this study, we surveyed 10 high school administrators and learned there was interest. 100% of the respondents indicated they would be interested in incorporating a proven product to reduce the likelihood of addiction and suicidal thoughts into their curriculum. This means our product fills a need in the marketplace. We had participants range from small private schools to large public school districts. They indicated they would be interested in participating with student groups from 20 to 350 students. We included participants from Jefferson County Public Schools to test if our product would be viable in urban centers as well in our region. We received interest there as well, which indicates that there is a possibility to grow and scale our business.
Our objective with Cracking is to prevent drug addiction and suicidal thoughts. We plan to accomplish this goal by showing the effects of drug addiction and how it can affect your life. Each of us have our own roles. Araya is responsible for art and graphic design. I am responsible for level and sound design, and Jaren is responsible for programming. Once the game is developed, we intend to copyright the code and have the game evaluated by a professional to determine whether or not it is safe for students to play. We will use entrance and exit surveys to test the game to see if there is a reduction in drug and suicidal thoughts students may have. As part of our viability study, we asked each participant if they would be willing to participate with a small group of students to test the effectiveness of our product.
So, with our viability study, we included questions to see how many students would be willing to actually play the game and what principals would be willing to pay to develop Cracking into their school system. So we have decided, using that information, that we would set the game around $8 to $9 for school usage and $15 to $18 for personal usage. That would be if someone wants to buy the game and play it on their own and kind of beat it at their own pace. just so it would be inexpensive enough for school systems to actually consider developing into their system, and for it to be still expensive enough for us to make a decent profit.
The biggest risk we may face is when we test the effectiveness of the game, we show no less likelihood of drug and suicidal thoughts among students. If this occurs, we will then have to go back and change parts of the game for another testing session. Another large risk is copyright infringement. Although not probable, students could download and redistribute the game without permission. It is also possible that we were unable to meet our deadline for market launch.
As students at Redbird Christian School, we have been given the opportunity to develop our business plan as part of our entrepreneurship class curriculum. We developed the following budgeted expenses to get our business to market launch a finished product. This budget is our anticipated budget to get through the testing and development stage of our product. The Board of Directors for Redbird Christian School has provided us with funding to cover the initial startup of the business, including our computer and software expenses. The plan to cover the additional costs is through business pitch competitions. We hope to explore the possibilities of receiving grant fundings as this business addresses a social problem and through its success will provide a social value. At this point, we don't anticipate having revenue until the fall semester of 2024. We expect the first year of revenue to be $12,800.
With that being said, please allow us to show some screenshots of the game. In the top left corner, there's a hallway that we have. It's right next to the game's computer lab. There's one classroom on the right, and down the hall there's a set of bathrooms. The one in the middle on the right is the entrance hallway with lockers on the right and two splits on the left and right. On the left, there's a hallway, the hallway on the top left that's where it is. And the bottom left is actually the computer lab. And those characters on the right of the screen are actually, Araya made those for character models.
Yeah, I only made 2 main characters, but once we actually start getting further into it, I'm going to start developing actual character models for the game. But it's still a work in progress, and I'm going to add different characters and make more characters.
And we actually have a small little video of us walking around. This is us walking into the hallway on the left and right, showing it. Oh, it didn't work. How do I get it up there? Let's get out of the PowerPoint. Here. There. This is us going to the hallway on the right and the left. As you can see, it's the computer lab side of the school. And then on the left. There. That's the video. That's all we have. Are there any questions?
Yes. It's nice to see you all again. I never forgot your first presentation and the vulnerability and the honesty that you showed up on stage with, and how much that adds, to your pitch. And so I was really excited to see what you did for the next step. And congratulations on what you've shown us here today. I've got a few questions here. Okay, so. Can you give me some examples of what types of decisions would they make? I love seeing that artwork, but is there a point where a question pops up, and just give us an example of what happens?
One of the, idea that we could create was I had come up with a character struggling with smoking, weed or something, even though it's not that big, but it's still a drug, and it would give an option to smoke or don't smoke, or another option a negative choice going to a party knowing that it has alcohol and stuff, and mostly a party, just, you know, I don't really know how to explain it really well, but it's just negative, like, decisions, like, come across you, and you get options, like, a positive, like, answer to that choice or a negative to that choice, and you choose which one you want to go for.
Okay. And picking the high school age, curious what went into that decision versus younger children to try to catch the, you know, stop the addiction potential even earlier. What made you settle on high school as your audience?
Originally, I wanted it to be a high school student, because now I think drugs is more at the higher point than it used to be, because during COVID, I've noticed a lot of people vaping a lot. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's, you know, still smoking and stuff. And I feel like kids are given more opportunities to get into that stuff. And I find it that a younger kid wouldn't understand it much than a high schooler who is, you know, older and more mature and has not seen it or heard of it. So that's the reason why I chose more of a high school student, like our age maybe, or higher.
And can people, so if I'm playing or whoever's playing, they can pick which character they are, or?
Not real, like, I've not really made that into that. I've just made it one main character who's, like, struggling with this.
Got it. Okay.
But I think if we were to make more or add on to the game, we could make character designs and choose what character you want once we, like, actually finish it.
Well, congrats on getting some, you know, support already in the school there. Let someone else go. I've got more, but I'll hold it if we have more time.
Yeah, this is such a cool concept. I guess about 10 years ago, I worked for a university, and it was a communication department, and they were trying to see if a game kind of like this would help people who already were suffering from addiction to help them come off of addiction. I love that you're focusing on prevention. Have you thought of partnering with a university who could help with, you know, providing you with psychology and, like, understanding the types of questions and events you might want to have in there?
We were thinking about trying to connect with ARC to see if that would help, and seeing how they're kind of a drug recovery thing, we think that would just be help to try and get the game more out there, so that it would be, like, further spread and more people would be able to know about it.
That's great. I love hearing that you're going to be working with some partners. Definitely start trying to think about, like, the surveys and things, and also, like, how you're going to measure your impact and how this is actually working later. And I think partnering with universities could be a really good help for you guys. Good job.
Did you look at, I know there was going to be some, after you do your focus groups and get the feedback from that to see the impact that it has, but have you talked to anybody about the potential impact something like this could have, like somebody in the therapy or psychology field that says, you know, here's some things you might want to incorporate, or here's some things that we think this kind of thing would have on the problem you're trying to solve?
I had actually thought of that, but not really, like, with a therapist or something. I was wanting to put, like, my personal experiences that I have seen, and maybe ask my dad or my aunt or my mom, well, not my mom, but people in my family who have struggled with addiction, like, how they was, like, struggling and what they went through while on drugs, and how they managed to get off drugs, and, like, ways they stopped and got, you know, rehab and all that stuff.
Is it an ongoing game, or is it a certain time frame?
It's a certain time frame. We don't really know how long we want it to be, but we kind of...
We've been estimating it to be around 16, 17 hours for full completion of the game.
Yeah.
And then the name. Where does... you have a drug prevention game called Kraken. And so where does that come from?
We have it called cracking because it's a metaphor of the character and player's world. It's kind of cracking and crumbling because they're trying to get off of a drug addiction.
All right. Good. Great. Good presentation. Thank you.
I like the way that the idea came out of a real life experience. That's one of the best ways to be able to express yourself is from your own experiences throughout your life and what you've seen and witnessed. And it sounds like you demonstrated the need for this very well. What I'm not sure of is, does this game become part of the school curriculum? Is it an option? How does it weave into the curriculum at the school? How's it interwoven?
Well, schools would purchase, school administrators and principals, they would purchase a subscription of the game monthly. And they would purchase a subscription per student. So say you had like a classroom of 15 kids, and you would go and you would purchase a subscription per kid. And then, yeah, they would pay the subscription.
So is that something that is downloaded onto some
Yes.
device they have at school?
Yeah.
Their own personal device or a laptop or something they have available at school?
Yeah, it would mainly be based on school computers,
School computers,
like
okay.
a computer
Something
lab.
the school maintains
Right.
for the kids. Okay. So is it going to be available to every kid from grade something to something?
Well, it would mainly be based around high school because that's where, drug addiction, that's where it really mainly starts. So we want to like pinpoint it on where it would begin and like show the effects early on so they know.
Right. I noticed in one of your slides it said that there is, you did a really good job on the risk, by the way. You mentioned potential negative outcomes.
Right.
Maybe potentially somebody wasn't interested in drugs, or now this has provoked their curiosity. Is that what you were meaning by that? Or?
Yeah, like they were curious to like get into drugs or something like that.
Because of playing the game.
Yeah.
If it had an opposite effect of what we want.
originally wanted.
What the intent is.
That's
Okay.
why we wanted to have a professional come and evaluate the game and ensure that it would be safe for a student to play and not, cause a reverse effect.
Yeah, that's the last thing you
Yeah,
want.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My question was surrounding that aspect of it, like if there was any concern with putting that type of content in front of a student, backlash from parents who may not want that type of content to be in front of their child. I realize in the real world that they come across that anyways, but I would definitely urge you to connect with partners. ARC would be a wonderful place to start for sure, but I love the concept of this for sure. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you about that, the concern with the parents. And I just wonder about maybe they're an audience too, to present. So they have the choice of also just getting it. I think you said, was there an individual plan or something?
There's
You
a
could get it
personal,
yourself? Yeah. How did you arrive at was it like almost 12,000, 13,000 in revenue projection?
I wrote this down in my notebook.
Okay.
So through the viability study, it was to determine the number of students per school of 160 and $8 per student from 10 different schools.
Okay, all right. Just a little bit of feedback on the pitch itself. You guys have such, how do I say this? The talent, the artistic and the tech and all that you were able to create and show us, part of a game and so on is really amazing. I would love if there's any way for you to add someone else to your team or your advisors or something with some marketing, just to help you promote and get out there with the messaging of this really cool tech piece project that you're creating. Any thoughts on that?
That's why whenever we get done with kind of a beta, we plan on sending it to ARC and see if they can sponsor it and get it out more.
And I think another thing that popped up was sending out like maybe a survey if anybody was interested in entering the group and help us build onto the game and help us make it, like people who are specialized in that game making and tech savvy, I guess. Mm-hmm. Like in addition to the group and stuff.
Takes all kinds of talents for a successful startup team.
Also, when you were talking about advertising and stuff, we actually had the opportunity to meet with a computer scientist who helped us, learn how to, build the game, build the levels and whatnot. He said he could actually assist in promoting the game for us.
That's great.
Yeah.
And for that first question, if you were asking how the dialogue options would work, I actually made it so that whenever you walk up to a person, it actually starts the dialogue options and they start talking to you and you can respond back with your options.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I have one more. Is this a single player game, or will there be an option for the students to interact with one another on the game?
This is a single player.
For right now, it's single player, yeah.
It could be multiplayer, but if there's one kid who gets in there and he tries doing all the wrong things and tries getting others to do the wrong things, that's why it would be mainly single player.
As of right now, we want to keep it single player because, like he said, another student could affect, another student who is actually trying to play the game. So, yeah. Right, exactly.
Is that all questions? Well, thank you all for your